Hello, this is F. Welcome to episode 44 of my Ottoman Empire campaign. Last episode, we captured Tunis from the Spanish forces, and the African army pushed west towards Algiers. Lwów led again with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and the garrison at Königsberg successfully repulsed an assault. Today the African army continues to push towards Algiers, pressing across harsh North African terrain to turn momentum into territory. On the European front, the Commonwealth launches fresh incursions into Ottoman lands, threatening Warsaw and laying siege to Lwów. Our forces must hold the line in Central Europe even as we press west in Africa. Every victory now must be defended, and every loss could unravel months of hard work. Let's get into it. Okay, so we are very close to Algiers. We have two territories still to claim, both Morocco and Spain, and we're well on our way to a victory. We'll end the turn here. We're in 1750 already, so we'll see what transpires in the next turn. We're obviously at war with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and the Spanish Empire. So let's see what happens this turn. It looks like it's winter 1750. So we have some buildings completed, we have a new port and a new town has emerged. I think for now we will lay siege to Algiers. They do have quite a strong army and they have refused to surrender the city. We have some reinforcements as well. Might be worthwhile looking to take out the reinforcements first. But I think for now we'll look at administering the empire for the time being. See if we can get some infrastructure and buildings upgraded. So we'll get a fleet into the port, just again to protect the port from enemy incursions. We'll upgrade a few buildings in the Balkans. Do we need that? I don't know if we can go for the madrasa upgrade, just to help with the conversion rates. I think let's look at taking out the reinforcements and get a battle going. So this will be the Battle of Tipasa. Now that is an arbitrary town on the coast of North Africa to the west of Algiers, but I think it serves as a good fitting location for this battle. Now the enemy will have a good number of forces that we need to contend with in this battle. There will be a mix of line infantry coming from the enemy, as well as Dahomey Amazons and some native line infantry. Now, in our current position, although the enemy ahead of us are quite small, we do have enemy forces reinforcing from behind our line, so we're going to have to definitely split up our forces, hence the pause at this stage just to reposition units. I suspect this is going to be a struggle for me once again, where I struggle to manage our forces effectively on the battlefield. But we do have some, essentially we have most of our units all intact, so we'll get some of our light infantry up and ready to fight. We'll make sure that our line stretches out long enough just to ensure that the initial army does not, or cavalry from the initial central forces do not circumnavigate our line. We do have to make our line slightly smaller now to meet the new enemy forces. So we've got some enemy cavalry coming in. Our cannons are engaging with the original force near Tipasa, and we just have to monitor what happens with these units in our centre. So we'll move up our courage janissaries, just move them along, reposition them. Again, they cannot form square formation, so that will put them at some kind of a disadvantage. We've got enemy cavalry running in now. At this point we should have got our units. Okay, yep, our units are going to square formation. Yeah, we're not going to get into position quickly enough. Come on guys, get ready to fire, get ready to fire. No, cavalry's come in swiftly, charging straight over at our line. We did not have time to get into a proper formation. We are moving another detachment of Nizam-i-Sadit up to counter the enemy forces that are marching in. Cavalry units are retreating at this point, and I think we need to bring our light infantry back into the cover of the buildings. Enemy cavalry are pushing away. Ooh, there we go. We might have some friendly fire there, but that was a good shot of the square formation in action. And again, our Nizam-i-Sadit will benefit from fire by rank. Let's go, guys. Aim, lock and fire. Good men. Take out those cavalry. They should be able to whittle down the cavalry significantly, but nope, they're going to get too close. Oh man, getting to square formation. Very good. We'll keep our Libyans in the forest for now. They are currently concealed. Okay, we do need to be mindful of this force moving to our far right flank. Just reposition our Nizam-i-Sadit, and I think our Nizam-i-Sadit will take the brunt of action. Oh my gosh, no! The cannons, once again, the cannons, victims of not paying attention. Oh dear. We potentially lost a few men in the one cannon battalion. Enemy cavalry are being taken out by our rifles. We need to reposition them shortly. Or some cavalry taken out by cannons. Let's reposition you guys. There is an enemy line unit coming along. And as you can see, we're being engaged in melee combat in the center of our Nizam-i-Sadit line. Let's get our Libyans out. You guys go after the cannons. Let's get our men into melee combat. We'll move you guys and reposition you so you can try and hit the enemy from the side. You guys reposition and face the enemy full on. We have our units firing. Can you guys get fire canister shot? Get canister shot, please. Oh my gosh, this is going to be horrendous. Are you guys going to be able to do anything? You probably need fire at will on. I don't know why I've taken fire at will off. We need to be a lot quicker with our actions, that's for sure, to get our troops into position. Our light infantry are also attacking the enemy, and that was a lot of grenades on our friendly fire. Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous. Let's reform our Cairo Janissaries, and we'll bring you up to support this side. Our Libyans, oh, one of our units have taken quite a lot of casualties, so we'll move them back. Looks like enemy forces are on the march, at least away from our forces. Let's get our units up. The enemy general is dead at this stage, so that's good. So there'll be a morale debuff for the enemy. Let's get our grenadiers in. Let's get you guys up. Come on, you need to be able to fire at will. Let's reposition you guys in the center. Oh, cannons, you guys are just going for everyone. Let's get you guys all fire at will. Let's see if we can reposition you guys. There doesn't appear to be many enemies on the central side of the initial engagement field. Let's get you guys up so you can throw your grenades. And I think on this side we'll look to push our forces up. We have our cavalry chasing down enemy forces. We have some units coming back. Let's get you guys up into the combat zone. Come on guys, let's reform and move forward. Run forward if you can. Get our Cairo Janissaries up as well. Oh no, let's reposition you guys. Grenades have been fired at. Okay. We'll move you guys forward so you can just pick off any of the fleeing forces. Let's see, we've got our general, our Sipahis actually on the far left side. We need to be mindful of cavalry, of the spikes that we have in the ground that our light infantry set originally. We have some more soldiers coming back in to launch another assault against our forces. Okay, and Nizam-i-Sadit are moving forward. We've got some more melee combat. I believe that might be pikemen. Cavalry, can you guys, our supplies are coming in behind our enemy forces. They are fleeing, so we'll get them into play, and we have some grenadiers in the building. Let's move those grenadiers up. So it's a bit of a mishmash, this engagement, but the enemy are on the run, the enemy are losing the engagement profoundly, and we do have a significant balance of power at this point. We'll just get our cavalry to continue to run down any of the fleeing forces just to reduce the number of casualties that will be present on the campaign map. And oh my god, you guys need to get forward. You guys are so far away from the enemy. Get forward and see if you can throw your grenades. Run up before you lose too many men. You're down to 70 men already. Let's see, can we move you guys up? Oh, our grenadiers are just falling. Oh, they threw some grenades. Oh, you guys are being attacked by some pikemen again? Oh man, didn't even see them. I've got to pay attention. Wow, heaven forbid I was doing this on like very hard or something. I wouldn't survive at all. Let's get you guys in. Cavalry, I think we need to bring you back. We need to do something, I think. So our grenadiers are down to 33 men. I wouldn't be surprised if they break soon. Cavalry continue to... you guys go after the Dahomey Amazons. See if you guys can get them. Or is that... No, that's the African, the native line. Tree, let's see if we can take out some of these African soldiers before they can reform. And you guys continue to run down the pikemen. Let's bring you guys up this way. And it looks like, oh no, they are fleeing now. Okay, so that's good. We've gone down to 21 men from 80, so that's not ideal for our grenadiers, but they did break that line infantry. Or there might have been Dahomey Amazons, I'm not sure, but they are broken, so we'll need to make sure that we run them down. But for all intents and purposes, yeah, the enemy has pretty much been defeated, so we'll run them down. We'll double check the stats at the end of the battle. I suspect we'll have quite a few casualties. Even our cannon, one of our cannon battalions has lost about 10 men, and another one has lost about 8 men. Our Nazim Isadit are quite low in some of their numbers, down to like 119, 110, some of the units. So yes, I suspect it was a costly battle. We weren't well prepared for this battle, and there were a lot of blunders once again in this. So we can palm it off to the incompetence of the enemy generals still trying to find their footing against the European powers. So that was a close victory. Not what we want to see. We definitely want to see the heroic victory stats more often than not. So looking at the stats for the Battle of Tipasa, we lost 352 men. That's well over 10%. So not ideal. And we, as you can see in the stats there, some battalions have lost significant numbers of men, but we did crush the Spanish in this battle, so that leaves Algiers pretty much open for the capturing. So that will have to be next turn. We do not have enough range to get back to Algiers, so let's end the turn there. We've got our northern army moving into Belarus and Volhynia, and it looks like the Spanish are coming back for more. Well, so this is the second battle of Tipasa, and we'll get straight into it. This is a small army, so I don't suspect it will take very long to crush the Spanish, and we have a lot of rain in this segment, and it's very murky, very hard to see where the enemy forces are. So I think after this engagement we should be able to focus on replenishing our forces as quickly as possible. Again, the Spanish have a small contingent, so we'll try and get our forces around them as soon as possible. And we are currently lopsided. The majority of our forces are positioned to our left flank, with the Spanish focused predominantly on our right flank. So quite a bit of manoeuvring to do with our units. Let's see if we can get our cannons out of action for now and see how this battle progresses. And this rain is torrential for the North African map, so we definitely cannot make out much, especially where the enemy could be. We can just about make them out, but you don't realise how difficult it can be to just understand where the enemy is in these engagements. But our Nazim Isadit and our Cairo Janissaries should be able to hold their own in this battle. Again, it will be interesting to see once the battle stats are up how many men we actually lose in this engagement. We clearly outnumber them, and we have a large contingent of forces, so we can afford to lose the numbers, but ideally we do not want to do that. We want to try and take them out as swiftly as possible. Come on guys, I think there are enemy forces directly ahead of you, so that's good. Fire at will. Got cannons firing from the enemies, got our Cairo Janissaries firing at will, and enemy forces, regiment of foot, directly in front of our lines. Let's reposition you guys so you guys can take advantage of the closer combat. And as we moved our forces, we realised that there's some pikemen right here, so we definitely need to try and take them out as quick as possible. And our Nizam Isadit warriors are doing that, but now we've got them literally situated between our two forces, and they're going to try and hit our guys from behind. This is not ideal. We are chasing them down with one of our units. Let's see if we can get our cavalry in from behind. Oh man, this is so out of position. Okay guys, you guys move into combat. Let's see if we can squish them between our forces, and we're sending a cavalry unit in as well. We should be able to take out the pikemen, but again, the Nizam Isadit do not have great melee combat skills, so we just need to be mindful of that as we send our cavalry forces in. Let's pull our forces back. I think that's the enemy. Yeah, I think that's the cannons. So yeah, we need to be mindful of the cannons as well. There's some enemy cavalry just ahead, and it looks like the pike units are fleeing, and yeah, come the cavalry straight into the back of our guys. Let's get you guys both into square formation. I think you guys got stuck. Oh, this is not good. But we will take out the enemy cavalry, the enemy cannons, and we will start to run down the pikemen that were on our extreme left flank. We've got some more units pushing up, so Nizam Isadit will get them up to the far left of our new line position. Got our cavalry running in. Let's see, the enemy cavalry have pushed back potentially, it looks like. Okay, that's fine. And the enemy cannons look like they've been taken out, so that's good. It will be interesting to see how many losses we have at this stage. And with the heavy torrential rain, the ground must be quite sodden, and therefore we have quite slow cavalry, although our cavalry will likely be tired out as well from the exertion. So let's form a line again, I think. Let's get you guys out of square formation, see if we can engage the enemy cavalry. They're literally sitting ducks at this rate. Okay, they are now moving out of position. We have our cavalry running down some enemy cannons. Let's get you guys, let's just pull you guys back, just be mindful of where those cavalry are going. Okay, they seem to have stopped. Let's see if we can push our line forward, try and take out the enemy cavalry, but again, this is when they are most vulnerable on the march, moving around at slow speed, and enemy cavalry can just charge straight in and take out our guys before they can get into proper formation. And it looks like some enemy line infantry have returned to the battle. Our cavalry are out of position. Let's reform you guys. We'll send you up in case you can take out some additional forces that are fleeing the battlefield. Yeah, we'll send you up that way. We've got some shattered units as well. So it looks like some pikemen are heading after our cavalry. Are they in range? Oh, you guys are still reloading forces, so I think the pikemen will be able to escape the barrage of fire hitting them, and they're heading very close for our cavalry, so we're going to have to reposition our cavalry. We need to get you guys out of the way. And the enemy cavalry is coming now as well. They're moving straight after we fired some of our shots. So our cavalry is moving. Let's get you guys to reposition. We're moving our cavalry slightly further afield from the enemy pikemen. Let's reposition you guys. And let's reposition you as well. Okay, so our forces are moving out of range of the enemy, and our other Sipahi cavalry squadron are running down units. Okay, looks like the rain has let up slightly. We can see more of the battlefield. Forces are just readjusting into position, and again the enemy pikemen are moving towards our cavalry. So we'll need to just try and get our cavalry behind our line infantry as swiftly as possible. Let's move our line units up. Cavalry will get you guys moving behind. Let's go, we'll bring up our Libyans as well, and the cavalry have been caught in some crossfire. You see, we'll probably be able to break them at this stage, and I think once the cavalry break, which looks like they are, we should be able to take out the, yeah, it looks like the Spanish forces, yep, they've all broken. So that's good. So it'll be interesting to see the stats for the second battle. So we lost around just over 300 odd men in our first engagement with the Spanish. So this time round, hopefully we don't lose that many, and we lost 122. So not bad. So overall we've lost about 400, maybe 500 odd men. So still a large chunk of units that need to be replenished. But again, and that's well below the 10% margin, so that's really good. The Polish-Lithuanian forces continue to look at trying to capture some research, and we're definitely not giving you Crimea, Russia. That is for certain. But so far, the Russians haven't opted for a declaration of war with us, so we're currently only facing that two-pronged attack, or two-pronged war with Poland, Lithuania and Spain. So additional buildings have been constructed, additional traits have been secured by our ministers or generals, so that is good to see. Algiers is pretty much ripe for the taking, so we'll siege the city for now. We'll just look to see if we can do some upgrades on our units, or for our units it will be replenishments really, not upgrades. It's something you don't see much anymore in modern Total Wars, or at least in Empire. There's no upgrades that your forces need to receive from certain buildings, and it looks like we've missed some of our building upgrades for our farms in Anatolia, so we'll get them ready to go. And just looking at Königsberg, we'll replenish our smart janissaries. We have a Polish-Lithuanian force fairly close to our border with Lwόw. I think we should be able to hold for now, but we might need to send an additional unit down from Warsaw. Let's move you up. You're currently blocked. Okay, we'll threaten the Polish at Minsk, and hopefully that will force them to bring their forces or pull their forces back towards the city. Okay, so we have a unit now coming into Polish territory, so it's definitely something we need to be mindful of, is having enough forces across the four cities to defend against any particular direction of attack from the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. I think there's not much else we can do at this stage. Our cash flow is quite limited. Can we get a peace with Poland-Lithuania? No, they are not feeling it at this stage. How about Britain? Trade agreement. They want quite a lot of technology, so I don't want to give them that just yet. Our alliance with Prussia is still a thorn in Britain's side, so something we don't want to do just yet. Polish are moving south. Ooh, okay, they're moving south, so we're going to have to definitely deal with this army before too long, because they'll just terrorize the surrounding regions around Warsaw and just hit our wealth generation for sure. So a new town emerges, another town has emerged in Africa, some more trades have been gained, and we have a unit trade ship in the Mediterranean Okay. So Polish forces, we do outnumber them. I think we should be able to take them out with relative ease. They have 2 grenadiers, 2 line infantry, some cavalry and cannons. So I think we could take them out with relative ease. We should have just moved our entire army out and just left the Janissaries in position. We'll get additional Nizam-e-Sadit recruited. I think with the Northern Army, if we move them closer to Minsk, we can understand the breakdown of forces there. So we'll get our agent in position. They've got a good stack of forces there, so that's fine. Again, the only downside with the Northern Army is we do not have any Nizam-e-Sadit forces there, and that was a big blunder because the river prevented us from crossing over. So while this turn generates, we'll need to keep an eye on Polish forces, and they're coming to Lwów, so we are definitely outnumbered here with our units, but we'll have to do the best we can. So I think we'll need to engage with the Polish at the Battle of Lwów and just see how our units hold the line in the defense of the city. We definitely do not want to lose this settlement. If we do, that will just push back our forces, open up the pathways into Moldavia, Ukraine and Transylvania. So we definitely have to hold the city, and it will just set us back a couple of years, I imagine, which is something we do not want to happen. So we have our citizenry on the fort embankments. We'll just monitor Polish forces as they come into range of the fort. Now, as we said originally, there are 2 lots of grenadiers and 2 lots of line infantry, so we need to be mindful of these units. They are quite decent and capable units for sure, and we do think we'll find, or I think we'll use our armed citizenry as the initial attacking or defending forces and keep our Bylak Janissaries and our Samart Janissaries for later engagements. Now the enemy do have cannons, so we have to be mindful of the cannons breaking through our fort walls. We do not want them to destroy the fort walls if it can be helped. And as such, we do have some deployables on the ground level of the fort. So we reposition our forces, watching the Polish units as they come up to battle or closer proximity of the fort. Enemy cavalry are running around, they should tire themselves out quite nicely. There is a unit of cannons, and then we have some grenadiers to our left marching towards the fort. Polish line are coming up. I think let's swap you guys for the armed citizenry. Armed citizenry should come into play here, so they can at least tire out Polish forces, but it looks like they're doing a little bit of a retreat. At this point, we have some enemy cavalry coming up on the left flank of our fort, and we're getting quite a lot of our units onto the fortification wall. Right, so again, it's just a lot of manoeuvring at this stage, just getting the right units to the right locations just to harass the enemy as they make their way towards the fort, and making sure that we have soldiers, I should say, at the right locations to prevent the enemies from scaling the walls and capturing one of the gates. Another disadvantage, I suppose, is that within this particular battle we don't have many units with musket capability, and therefore our armed populace and our Samart Janissaries cannot make use of the cannons on the fortification walls, so that's something to be mindful of in future. And it might be that at some point towards the end of this campaign we remove our Samart Janissaries and replace them with musket units. So the Polish forces seem to be concentrating on this section of the fort, and oh my gosh, what is that? Do we have a hole in the fort? I don't remember that ever being there. Right, we need to bring up our Bylak Janissaries. We need to close up this gap in case the enemy do decide to send forces through that gap. Polish forces aren't just firing at this point. They're not really engaging with our forces. And we have some enemy cavalry making their way up. So let's see if we can move you guys off. We'll need to bring you guys up the side just in case. We do not want this exposed opening to be used by the Polish. We need to prevent them from ever setting foot in the fort itself. So we've got Polish grenadiers. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they've stuck, because they don't seem to be doing much, and our forces are not actually engaging them just yet. I think once we've crippled the enemy cavalry and the line infantry, we should be able to take out the grenadiers relatively quickly, I think. But yeah, we'll need to be mindful of how this develops and how many units we can take out before they engage with our forces in melee combat. So enemy forces continue to run past our units. Our cannons are firing at the enemy forces, but probably not doing a lot of damage at this stage. The Polish line infantry are just standing still. Nope, we've got one unit standing still and another unit has come on top of the fort. Okay, so we need to be mindful of this. We'll get our units prepared to attack them when the time is right. And we'll also get the Polish forces to just continue to fire at the sides of the fortifications, as it will have very little to no impact on our units at all. And these grenadiers are still not doing anything. It's curious. I think they've got stuck in a loop. They are running nowhere slowly, charging at the ghosts of Christmas past. I know they might reform properly and then attempt to climb up the fortification walls. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If they aren't here for a while yet, we'll just send forces out through the gates to just take them out. Okay, our forces are manoeuvring. We do have engagement with some Polish line infantry, and we have the armed citizenry dealing with them at this moment in time. And we have a unit of Polish line infantry moving towards our breach in the wall, and I'm sure that before too long our Bajak Janissaries who are en route will be able to engage with them at a moment's notice. We'll also send a unit. We're sending a unit of the armed citizenry, so they can definitely tire out the enemy before the enemy engage with the Bajak Janissaries. That's another thing we need to be mindful of. As long as we can keep the enemy contained at the entrance to the fort breach, that should be fine, because we won't need to worry about cavalry running circles around our units, especially that our units cannot form square formation. So our armed citizenry are pretty much in position. Our Bajak Janissaries are nearly in position. We're running them up now, so they should get there well before the line infantry arrive. But again, it's something that we're definitely going to have to be mindful of in future engagements, because it seems like the fort breaches are not repairing themselves, so we might need to look at changing the fort structure to an eastern fort. But again, the Polish wars are just a distraction. Our African army continues to march westward towards Morocco. I think we'll have a lot of fighting once we hit Morocco and Gibraltar, and potentially we might need to have a secondary force open up a new front just to distract the Spanish, but we'll see when the time comes. I suspect that we are nearing the end of the campaign, and we'll probably look to do probably around between 50 and 55 episodes before the campaign is brought to a close. But we've got the Polish forces coming in near the breach. We have our Bajak Janissaries ready to fire. Let's turn off fire at will for now so they don't fire into the wall, and let's watch the show. Oh, take them down, guys. It's a shame they do not benefit from fire by rank. Polish forces are continuing to run in. We'll get our armed citizenry to try and take them out. Sabres up, guys. Okay, the Polish forces are running as well. So that was the second line infantry that was running. let's reform you guys. Let's get you guys out the way. Let's reposition you. You didn't need to run after them. We might get a few units bumped off through to friendly fire, but that's fine. They're only armed citizenry. Stats we don't really want, but they can just take out some of the Polish forces as swiftly as possible. And again, we don't have any cavalry, so we cannot run this force down. Let's see if we can get our Bylek Janissaries out and just take a few more units down before they flee the battlefield. Okay, it's still quiet. The enemy cannons aren't doing a lot of impact at this stage, which is fine. We'll get some armed citizenry or fire-locked armed citizenry out. We've got some enemy cavalry as well we need to be mindful of. And again, the Polish line infantry in that section are not really doing much, so we'll need to get some armed populace out there as well. I think we'll try and take out those units in between the cavalry maneuvers. Come on guys, you guys need to run up quickly. Let's see if you can take out a few units. Quickly, let's go. Run forward, we need to get in, take some shots at the enemy, and then get you back into the fort before the enemy cavalry arrive. Yeah, at the moment the enemy cavalry are on the complete opposite side of the fort, so let's go. Load, aim and fire. Let's go guys. That's it, you're taking on a handful of men. Well done. Okay, you're probably out of range at this stage. Yeah. So I think we need to pull you back before the enemy cavalry arrives. So looking at the fortification map, or the mini-map I should say, fortification map. I don't know what I'm talking about. Look at the mini-map. I think there's some enemy cavalry now at that top right section of the fort. So we need to just be mindful of that. Yep, the enemy cavalry are marching out, so let's reposition you guys. We're getting you guys back into the fort. I think we need to get you guys in there, and armed citizenry. Let's just get you guys back. Let's bring you guys back here. You go through the gates, I think, if you launch an attack against these line infantry. They do have a rope on the wall, but they're not climbing it. That is interesting. Let's bring our Bylek Janissaries up this way. Let's move our smart Janissaries out of the way, and maybe the cannons can provoke them into climbing up the fortification wall. There come the enemy cavalry. That's just you guys there. So enemy cavalry are coming around. The Grenadiers are still not doing much, so yes, we definitely need to look at repositioning our forces. Let's bring you guys back. I'm such a turtle player. I prefer defensive engagements, and let's get you on the left flank of the Bylek Janissaries quickly, guys, before the cavalry arrive. Got the enemy general. Oh, they're right here by the breach. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. Maybe they'll be hesitant to come through. Oh, and they're coming through the breach right now as we speak. Guys, get ready to aim and fire. Oh, yeah, okay, good. You're taking a few of the units out. We're sending in our men to run, and oh my god, that guy got flung far backwards. Oh man, rest his soul. So we've got our armed populace just taking on the cavalry. The cavalry should be somewhat exhausted. We'll hold off on the fire for now. See if our units can just wear out the cavalry. And I think it's time. You guys are not doing anything at all really, so we'll send out our armed populace, and this side we'll send out our firelock armed populace to just go and irritate those grenadiers, and our smart Janissaries will come down too, and we'll bring you guys down as well. I think let's pull you guys back and see what is happening with the enemy cavalry. Maybe this will bring the cavalry in, and then you guys can fire at will. Yep, take out those cavalry units, and that is pushing the cavalry away from that breach. Wow, we've got quite a good number of dead Commonwealth forces. Let's see how you guys are doing. You guys have engaged the enemy there. You guys definitely won't hold for long, so we'll get our some Janissaries out as well. And you guys are engaging there with those grenadiers. Perfect. Let's see, we'll bring our some Janissaries out. They can probably hold their own better against the grenadiers, and enemy cavalry wise, looks like some of the cavalry might be fleeing the battlefield. That's fine. So we can see our Smart Janissaries are coming down the fortification walls, and enemy cavalry are coming in as well. So okay, we do not want this. Where's our Smart Janissaries? Those guys are now starting to flee. Okay, let's see if we can run you guys to attack the enemy forces there. However, we've got more cavalry coming in. Okay, you guys go and attack them there. Smart Janissaries, two of our armed populous units are now fleeing the battlefield. Get our Smart Janissaries in, and yeah, we'll get you guys back up into position. Leave the battlefield. This is crazy. We need to focus on the enemy forces. I wonder if they'll start coming up the ladder now. Smart Janissaries are in with the Polish Grenadiers, so hopefully they should make some short work of them. A unit of enemy cavalry are fleeing the battlefield, and we'll just reform those units of armed citizenry. We haven't killed the enemy general just yet, but looks like they're down here in this section of the battle, supported by the line infantry. Let's get our Smart Janissaries, I apologise, get them to reform back on the fortification walls, and then we can see the enemy cannons are making inroads into our fortification walls as well, and we'll need to deal with them promptly very soon. Okay, our Smart Janissaries are engaged with the Grenadiers on this section, on this area of the battlefield. Come on guys, you have sabres, you've used them for tens of years. Show them that the sword is mightier than the gun. Oh, what's happening this side? Oh, guys are still struggling here with some of the units. Engaging with some of the units doing the melee combat with the line infantry. Let's get you guys into play. I think the general is fleeing. It looks like they are fleeing the battlefield. Okay, the Grenadiers are slowly being whittled down. They're down to 33 men, it looks like. And I think we will bring you guys out to take out the enemy cannons. We'll use the armed citizenry. Their morale is quite low, but they are expendable. They should replenish in a few turns if there's another engagement. But we'll get you guys out of fortification and into the line of sight of the enemy cannons. I don't expect that we'll have any more engagements in the fortification itself, but it looks like the line infantry are now coming up the fortification wall, so we'll definitely look to engage them with our Smart Janissaries. And the Grenadiers have broken. Fine. We won't be able to run them down as much as we would like to. We just needed some cavalry units. Always make sure you have cavalry, at least one cavalry unit in every battle. Speeding up the engagement. Oh wow, our Janissaries are losing quite a lot of men at the moment. 119 down, 117. Wow, they've lost quite a few with the engagement with the Polish forces. Seem to have stabilised at 117, so likely that the Polish forces are in retreat. And now that you guys are this far out, you might as well come towards the enemy cannons as well. The enemy cannons look like they continue to focus on the fortification walls itself, and because we haven't sort of tugged to them directly, they did not feel the threat of our impending forces upon them. The aim is to try and take out the cannons before they can fire any canister shot and cripple our forces. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Take them out. And that's one cannon unit taken out. And now we'll look to target the second cannon unit as well, and this should bring us close to the end of the engagement. It means we will have repelled the attack on Lwόw, but I do think we need to look at considering how we treat the forts going forward, because again, these forts seem like they're not being repaired in time, and it could be because we are not the native faction for these cities. So definitely something we need to consider going forwards with our campaigns. But with everything sped up now, we're just running our armed citizenry directly towards the enemy cannons. They are firing at our men, so hopefully you guys don't break before the moment is right. They're charging up the cannons, they're going to fire. Oh, taking out those guys just in the nick of time. Oh, but that did not save them. It was a close victory and we have been successful. Let's check the battle stats and see how the units have fared. Wow, we lost a quarter of our men in that engagement. That is really bad. I know a lot of them again are armed citizenry, but still it just looks really bad on paper. Really bad. So we have been successful in repulsing the assault on Lwów, so we'll continue imperial administration, replenish our forces, upgrade buildings and repair any buildings that have been damaged by enemy forces. Let's see, we have, feel free to freeze that, lightning is electricity. We have new technological advances, additional buildings have been upgraded and some recruitment has been done as well. Let's just review our technological progress. We do need to look at upgrades so we can advance our technology level even further. So where can we make some changes to infrastructure? We'll go for the school, I think at this time, and we'll continue to upgrade our farms. Maybe if we don't do the school just yet, we can get some economic buildings completed and upgraded. Okay, I think we'll do a quick auto-resolve here, the Battle of Rzeszów. Yeah. And we've lost more units than they did, that's great. So we had obviously units to spare. God, this is ridiculous. Auto-resolve is ridiculous. We'll just replenish our forces if we can, and we'll do an upgrade, or we'll repair the coffee house that was raided by the Polish forces. We'll move some Nazim Isadi to Königsberg, just to make sure we have enough troops across the battlefield. And I think it's now time for us to take out Algiers and capture it for the glory of the Sultan. We do outnumber the enemy by quite a lot. Their forces are heavily depleted, but we do need to capture the city in the name of the Sultan and expand our territorial gains. So we'll look to take the forces out as swiftly as possible. We do outnumber them quite heavily, and we have our cannons set up. Now it is to be reminded that there is a line infantry unit coming in as a reinforcement, so they'll be behind our current line, behind our right flank. But if we continue to move our forces forward and just adjust for any engagement with the Spanish forces within the city of Algiers, we should be able to hold the line relatively easily. We'll also get our Libyans up on the far right flank, just as far as we can possibly pull them. And just to be noted, we also have our Sipahis on our left flank as well. So let's just reform the lines, let's just get our units ready to engage the enemy where they might strike. In this engagement we definitely need to try and keep our casualties to a minimum as much as possible. Is there some units fleeing? I wonder if that's our it's probably our Cairo Janissaries just manoeuvring in a weird way. That's strange. But we're getting our line infantry up. We have our Libyans on the far side of the city now. Let's reform them. They'll definitely be in a good position to run down any enemy forces should they start fleeing the battlefield. Okay, we need to get our Cairo Janissaries. You guys need to move in a little bit faster, dudes. You are taking your time, but then you can afford to take your time. So we've got some line infantry coming up. I think we'll send our light infantry up to harass the line infantry, and we'll also look to send potentially our grenadiers up. Let's get our light infantry doctrine in use. Cannons continue to harass the enemy forces, and our courage janissaries have already begun engaging with the Spanish forces. I know the Spanish Empire is currently distracted with the New World and any changes or issues that are happening there, but we need to keep them on their toes and keep advancing into their territory until we've captured Madrid. Got some enemy cavalry up in the centre as well. Courage janissaries are hitting units from the Spanish in the centre, and our cannons are supporting them as well. We do need to keep an eye on the cavalry. Let's see, let's move you guys up a bit more. We'll continue to use the buildings as cover. We'll just reduce manoeuvrability of our enemy forces and hopefully protect our units from surprise attacks. Okay, reposition you on top of this little hill. Wow, the terrain is really bad. Okay, enemy units are getting closer, so let's move you guys up. You guys, they're on the other side of that little hill. Okay, some enemy forces are running now towards our line. They are shaken. Hopefully they can break soon. Let's reposition you guys. Enemy cavalry is in play. We've captured a building as well. Let's reposition you guys. Okay, you guys run forward. Okay, the enemy units have broken there. That's fine. Let's see, the next unit might break or might not. You guys are going into the fort, so you can provide some covering fire to our forces. Let's move you guys up. I think the centre of the Spanish line is pretty much going to be wiped out, so that's fine. Let's see, can we get you guys into position here? You guys can maybe start taking out the line infantry as they come down this hill, and we'll move our grenadiers up as well, just to provide supporting fire. The enemy cavalry have come into our courage janissaries, and we cannot get square formation, so hopefully they'll just break. Let's reform the line, guys. Reform the line. You guys try and take out the cavalry. You guys are moving up. Oh, it looks like the line infantry are maneuvering themselves back to this side of the hill. Let's get you guys out of direct line of fire. Let's reposition you guys up that way. Let's move guys, let's move. You need to try and take them out before they cause a lot of damage. Let's move you guys up as well. It looks like for the most part the enemy units have begun to break. In the centre there is a unit on the far left flank who's holding position, but all other forces are running now, so we'll get our Libyans into play at this stage to start raining down the enemy. As you can see on the left flank there is units just sitting on those farm walls. Okay, you guys still don't know what you guys are doing. You guys are just manoeuvring in weird positions. We'll get our light infantry up to start taking pot shots if you get within range, and we'll bring our grenadiers up as well. Now, I don't think our grenadiers benefit from 5-bar rank either, so that's unfortunate. But it's just something we've got to deal with as the Ottoman Empire. So Libyan Kulagu are marching forward. Some units have come back from the route. So we'll get you guys up and closer to the enemy. You need to be mindful of this unit that has returned to the field of battle. And again, like, the enemy have deployed spikes, so we need to be mindful of that when we're marching our cavalry through cities or the enemy side of the terrain. You guys run down those forces. Let's see what is happening. Okay, let's reposition our light infantry, see if we can benefit from taking out the line infantry. And grenadiers, we need to move you guys up. Sipahis, where are you? Let's bring you guys forward. Okay. Our cannons are still hitting quite a range. They will be a threat to our forces, so we need to stop our cannons very soon on this. Let's reposition you guys. I think you guys reposition and face this new threat. March forward. Come on guys, let's go, let's go. Hopefully out of range of the enemy. Oh, you guys are getting a beating at this point. Okay, you've lost quite a few units already. Let's just stretch you guys out. Our line infantry is coming in to support as well. Our cannons are now going offline. Okay, just try and whittle them out, and they've broken. Excellent. We'll definitely get our cavalry to support and running them down. Let's reposition you guys. Okay, and it looks like most of the enemy is being dealt with and is fleeing at this stage. He's literally the one holdout unit that we need to take care of. Let's see, there's still enemies fleeing, so let's run them down. Run them down as quickly as you can. We need to also consider getting our Sipahis into the action as well. Sure, the enemy will break very soon. We just need to make sure that everyone that's fleeing is being chased down where possible. Okay, so we've won the battle. The enemy are now fleeing. Let's get our Sipahis in. So you are on the left flank, so you run them down, and you guys run down the other line infantry, and that is pretty much the battle. So as soon as we get into the stats, we can double check how many enemy forces we took down and how many soldiers we lost in this engagement. Hopefully we haven't lost more than 10%, which is our usual target range. So we've lost 70 men. Yep, so we've lost 71 men. So not many men at all, so that's quite good. We only had to fight around 600 or so enemy forces, so again we definitely outnumbered them significantly. So let's get the units replenished, and we can look to repair the city in the next turn, I think. So there are a few Spanish forces further west of our current position. So we have new buildings constructed, units recruited, trades gained, and we have captured a new territory for the glory of the Sultan and the Empire. So only onwards and upwards for the Ottoman Empire. That's it for today. If you found this enjoyable, please leave a like and subscribe, as this really helps the channel to grow. Drop a comment about the Ottoman Empire's progress so far, or anything you would have done differently. As always, thanks for watching. I'm F. See you next time.